So, if you are still here and you reached this point, then congratulations. You now know exactly how to install and utilize the PriFob solution, and you basically know all the functionalities available in PriFob. The final step in my presentation will be regarding the performance and novelty of this solution. Basically, we have just few figures to talk about, but if you are interested in the full evaluation of the solution, then you can go ahead and read the paper. The paper actually was published in one of the highly ranked journals in the world. So yeah, there's like a full documentation of the evaluation criteria and what exactly and how exactly we compare that with other available solutions in the market. But basically, we compared this with competitors that used platforms including Hyperledger Indy, Hyperledger Bezo, Hyperledger Fabric, and Ethereum. All of these solutions were used for similar purposes and for specifically SSI-based applications, but they were not all good in terms of latency or throughput or GDPR. So we outperformed them in several aspects. If you would like to know where exactly we got these numbers, then you can also check the paper for the detailed references. Those numbers were actually reported in previous works proposing similar applications. So in this table, we can see a colored scale where green is very low latency and red is very high latency, and in between we have the yellow colored latencies. You can clearly see that PriFob outperformed all of the solutions that we compared with in terms of read latency. So our solution was super fast compared to these. In terms of write latency, of course, the did publication takes a lot of time since um, a lot of signatures and encryption and decryption processes needs to be done. But still, even though with this high latency of the write, we still outperformed all of the previous solutions with similar network sizes. Regarding the novelty, we compared the PriFob with current solutions that are being deployed in the market, including IPSI and BC Diploma, BlockCerts, OpenCerts, Trusted. They are all projects that are well documented, and they are currently being deployed in the market for specific applications using the general criteria of SSI-based applications. In our case, our solution was the only one that used a hybrid proof of authority and signatures of work, and it was the only one that was implemented, and at the same time, it provided the service of issuer accreditation. The closest solution to ours was Hyperledger Indy. The only limitation of Hyperledger Indy is that it provided a very high latency, as you can see here, compared to PriFob, and it didn't provide the service of issuer accreditation as we can see here. So yeah. And for the only one solution that proposed issuer accreditation, this actually was a theoretical proposal and it was not implemented. All right, so we do have a lot of solutions, and the question is, the aim of SSI application is to standardize. So why do we have a lot of solutions? Why don't all of them use the same solution with different naming, for example? And the reasons behind that is that we use that these applications are used for different purposes, although they do rely on the SSI concepts, but they have different purpose for each of them. They have different capabilities, as we saw for the latencies, and there are extended performance evaluation regarding the throughput and regarding the energy consumption. So they have different capabilities and, of course, different economic model. Uh, some of these are services that you actually have to register to, and you have to buy the service, and maybe the codes are not open source, or they are provided by private companies. So the solution for that, let's assume that we would have maybe in 5 or 10 years, we would have hundreds of solutions that use the same principles of SSI, each with different purpose, but they do all use blockchain technology to save DIDs and schemes, and maybe use the blockchain to revoke the credentials, but none of those actually use the same method that we proposed. But anyhow, if they all agree to the principles, then what's the solution? The solution is actually very simple. You can have, as an end user, a universal resolver, and you can use this resolver to connect to any blockchain-based SSI solution, and then this universal resolver can actually turn the non-standardized data returned from the blockchain or from the application platform. They can turn it, or it can turn it into a standard form. So this is for future reference, and it might be interesting to find one resolver that solves for all these applications and can be deployed in one wallet. Anyhow, we have several publications. Please go ahead and check out our publications, specifically the paper of the PriFoB solution right here. And you can find my full publication list on Google Scholar. Thank you for watching this series, and hopefully this was of a benefit of you. I'm going to be reading the comments. If you have any limitations or comments, then I would be much glad to respond to that.